Lee Dixon was an Arsenal legend, but today no one respects him or talks about him. Why? Why is it that the backbone of Arsenal has been forgotten so easily? Well, gentlemen, it's because football is full of flashy, headline-grabbing players, and in the glamour of such names, hard-working players like Lee often so unnoticed. This isn't right, and we're going to fix it. Born on March 17, 1964, in Manchester, England, Lee's story isn't just about football. It's about passion, community, and the gritty determination that promoted a local boy into a football legend. Growing up in Manchester, a city where football pulses through the veins of its residents, Lee was introduced to the beautiful game at a very young age. Influenced heavily by his family and the local football culture, Lee didn't go through elite academies. Instead, he learned his football on the streets, in school teams, and at local clubs. This was where he first started crafting those skills that would one day light up the top tiers of English football. Football for Lee was more than just a sport. It was a lifestyle. It was the endless games with friends on any patch of grass they could find, the improvised goals, and the dream of one day playing professionally. This down-to-earth beginning is a testament to the fact that great players often come from humble beginnings. Lee's professional journey kicked off at the age of 18, but not from a well-known academy. He was playing for Burnage High School Old Boys, showing that you don't need to be at a big club to get noticed. His performances here caught the eye of a scout from Bury, and just like that, Lee was thrust into the world of professional football. At Bury, Lee polished his skills further, adapting to the challenges of the game at a higher level and learning from seasoned professionals. His time at Bury was transformative. It wasn't just about playing, it was about understanding the game deeply, recognizing his role as a right-back, and refining his defensive tactics. After impressing at Bury, Lee moved on to Stoke City, where he continued to grow and catch the eyes of bigger clubs. But you know, Lee Dixon's early life is a classic underdog story. And it was at Stoke City, however, where he really began to make a name for himself. He joined Stoke in 1986, and his performances as a solid and reliable right-back caught the attention of bigger clubs. In January 1988, Arsenal came calling, and Dixon's life and career took a significant turn. At Arsenal, Lee Dixon became a part of one of English football's most famous back fours, along with Tony Adams, Steve Bold, and Nigel Winterburn. This defensive lineup was known for its incredible discipline, organisation, and resilience, qualities that defined Arsenal's play during that era. Dixon was not just a defender who was good at stopping opponents, he was also capable of contributing to the attack, known for his ability to make overlapping runs and deliver crosses. During his time at Arsenal, Dixon won several major trophies. He was part of the team that won the First Division titles just before the Premier League era began, and then added several Premier League titles to his name. The peak of his club success probably came in the 1993-94 season when Arsenal claimed the European Cup Winners' Cup. His career at Arsenal spanned over a decade, and he made more than 600 appearances for the club, a testament to his skill, consistency, and fitness. Internationally, Dixon also represented England, earning 22 caps. He was part of the team for the European Championships in 1992, although England's performance in the tournament was underwhelming. But you know what's more underwhelming and upsetting? 98.9% of you not subscribing to this channel. Hit that subscribe button and enjoy an endless sea of football content. Thank me later. Now back to our underrated start. And just like that, one important phase of his life ended. After hanging up his boots in 2002, Dixon didn't just fade away from the football scene. Nope, he smoothly transitioned into a broadcasting career. You might have caught him dropping knowledge bombs as a football pundit and commentator, mostly hanging out with BBC and later ITV. People dig his insightful analysis, especially since he speaks from the perspective of a former player who really gets the game's ins and outs. Post-retirement life saw Dixon starting out at the BBC, where he became the go-to guy for breaking down soccer tactics in a way that even your grandma could understand. Match of the Day fans were all about his clear and concise explanations. He wasn't just a one-channel wonder, though. He spread his wisdom over to ITV, especially during nail-biting events like the World Cup and the European Championships. His chill demeanor and thorough analysis during these high-stakes games show he's got a deep understanding of both the emotional and strategic sides of the sport. Besides TV, Lee Dixon also entered the digital space. He joined NBC Sports to cover the Premier League in the United States, continuing to spread his tactical knowledge and passion for soccer to an American audience. This role has been especially influential as soccer keeps growing in the US, and having an expert like Dixon explain the game's details has certainly improved the viewing experience. But Lee's life isn't just about analysing soccer. He has also been involved in documentaries, contributing to projects that explore the history and subtleties of soccer. An important project is 89, a documentary about Arsenal's thrilling 1988-89 title win, where Dixon was a key player. Now, outside of his work and professional life, Lee Dixon has been enjoying a more peaceful lifestyle. He's a keen cyclist, often seen in charity rides or cycling for fun. This hobby gives him a break from the soccer world, letting him enjoy the outdoors and stay fit, something that has always been important to him. But it's crazy how a man as performative as him is not even discussed by fans anymore. And one reason why Lee Dixon isn't as famous outside of football is his preference for a low-key lifestyle, avoiding controversies and the tabloid spotlight. In an era where many sports figures amplify their presence through social media and high-profile endorsements, Dixon has maintained a more reserved profile. This understatement, while it has perhaps limited his fame, has also endeared him to fans who appreciate his straightforward, no-nonsense approach to life and football. More than this, Dixon also played at a time when football was becoming globally commercialized, but he wasn't as flamboyant or media-centric as some other players of his time. This is another reason why he isn't as widely known globally as some of his peers. His contributions to football, particularly at Arsenal, are highly respected. However, his fame is more niche, appealing primarily to true football fans and followers of English football history. Lee Dixon's story is a classic example of an underdog rising to the top in English football. He started off in the lesser-known clubs of Bury and Stoke City, where he began to show his potential. His skills eventually landed him at Arsenal, where he became a key player in one of the most celebrated defensive squads in the history of the sport. Along with teammates Tony Adams, Steve Bold, and Nigel Winterburn, Dixon was part of Arsenal's legendary back four. Together, they created a defence so strong that it became famous worldwide. During his time with Arsenal, Dixon won several league titles and a European Cup Winners' Cup, marking his tenure as part of one of the most triumphant eras in English football. Despite his success, Dixon's name isn't as prominent today as some might expect. This fading from the spotlight isn't unusual for players from his era, the 1980s and 1990s, as football continues to evolve and new stars rise. Nevertheless, for those who know their football history, Dixon's performances are still a high standard for defensive excellence. Lee Dixon's contribution to football is significant and lasting. He was known for his discipline, consistency, and smart tactical play. Even though today's more flamboyant players might overshadow him, Dixon's influence on Arsenal and English football as a whole is deep and meaningful. For anyone who values the history of the sport and the intricacies of defensive strategy, Dixon remains a legendary figure. His story is a testament to the idea that true greatness doesn't always lie in the limelight, but rather in persistent hard work and passion for the game.